Hi, you know what? I wanted to record this conversation because I think it's important information and I wanted to share it with you guys. We talked about the secrets of some of the wealthiest Americans. And so I'm talking about the first billionaire in America, John D. Rockefeller, attributes his financial success to tithing. He says, and I'm going to read it because I don't want to misquote him. He says that he never would have been able to tithe his first $1 million if he had not first tithed from his very first salary, which was $1.50 a week. He believed so much in tithing that he started at that level and he continued to tithe until he became a millionaire at age 23 and a billionaire by age 50. And he gave so much, he believed in giving, he gave so much away that he eventually, his giving was the precursor to finding penicillin, because he gave to hospitals and other research. It was the precursor to finding cures for strains of malaria and tuberculosis and many others. He also taught his sons to give. He and his wife also taught their sons to give. So the first tenet, one of the first secrets is tithing. That's giving at least 10% of all earnings to the source of your spiritual growth, to your church, to, again, the source of your spiritual growth. The second tenet is asking God, asking your creator, asking your inner spirit for guidance on how to increase your wealth. Ask for ideas, ask for contacts, ask for opportunities. There's still a lot to be created. There's a lot that could happen, and a lot of that can happen through you. So ask, believing that you're going to get that great new idea, that next best invention. Ask for it and you will. If you ask for it, believing that you're going to receive it, you will receive it. An example of that is Anthony Rossi came to America as a young man from Italy. He came with nothing but the clothes on his back. He stayed with a family who were Christians and they took him to church. So one Sunday, he was in church and he prayed. He said, God, if you give me an idea, a business idea that I can be successful in, I promise you, I will always tithe off of my earnings. Shortly thereafter, he had an idea for fresh squeezed orange juice, and Tropicana was born from that. He gave, that was the very morning that he prayed that prayer. That's how immediate the answer can come to you. And he went above and beyond the 10%. He gave 50% of his income until his death in 1993. He also gave truckloads of free orange juice to colleges all over the United States. So ask and you shall receive. The third secret of the wealthy is commit to saving. Commit to investing. You don't want to spend everything that's coming into your hands. When you start being blessed, you want to commit to putting some of that money away so that you can do even more with what you're that's being poured through you. I go to Trinity and they talk about the 10-10-80 rule, 10% for tithing, 10% for saving, and then you can live on the 80%. And that's where you at least want to start. But who knows, when you are consistent with the principles that we're talking about here, you might be looking at a 20-20, whatever the other 20-20-60. You might be looking at an entirely different number because the increase is going to be so great that you will be giving from your surplus. you will be saving from your surplus and you will still have an abundance to share. So you definitely want to be a good steward, be responsible over what is being poured through you. So the next thing you want to do, the fourth principle that I want to share with you is commit to being a trustworthy vessel for what's going to be poured through you. And by that, I mean, God can trust you to share what's being poured through you. God can trust you to not hoard it and hold on to it. I got it and I'm not going to give it to anybody else. No, if God says to you, go pay off Cynthia's house, you be willing to go pay off Cynthia's house and not worry about whether or not Cynthia likes you, not worry about whether you're going to get the credit, not worry about whether or not there's going to be enough for you, because you, again, are giving from your surplus. You are giving from your increase. So you commit to being trustworthy with what God's blessing you with, what God is pouring through you, and the pouring will be infinite. It will blow your mind when you show God that you are trustworthy. That it will blow your mind, the blessings that you will have and the way you can be a blessing to other people. You can start to change blocks. You can start to build houses for people who need them. You can start to pay off people's cars. You can start to put an entire class of children through college, see them from they matriculate all the way through school. Isn't that a powerful thought? The things that you can do. You don't want to, you're not getting the money to hoard it. You're getting the money to use it. That's what it's for. You can't take it with you. So if it's in your hands, because you've shown yourself trustworthy, then you are going to be in a position to do phenomenal works. So that's the other thing that you wanted. That's the fourth principle. The fifth one that all of this is built on, the foundation, is believing. Believing makes it so. If you tithe, but don't believe that the increase is for you, it's not going to come. If you don't believe that you can be out of debt, that you can be a millionaire, that the idea can come through you, that your life can be different, then I don't care how much you do it. You have to believe it. And then that's where other things that we talk about come into play. That's where you change your thinking. Change your thinking, change your life. Change the way you think about money. Change the way you think about yourself. Change the way you think about what you deserve. Change the way you think about how you move through this life and how you allow life and things to pour through you. When you change that, when you get in your mind that you are deserving, that prosperity is your birthright, that health is your birthright. Prosperity is not just finances. Prosperity is great relationships. Prosperity is a loving mate. Prosperity is beautiful surroundings. Prosperity is good health, vibrant health. Prosperity, of course, is money. Prosperity is enjoying the things that God put here for us to enjoy and sharing it with people. That's prosperity is again, great relationships. So trust and believe. I'm not just talking about money, but when you know in your heart that prosperity really is for you, only because you are here and you are God's child. That's all it takes. You don't have to do anything special. You have to do those things I'm talking about, the principles that I talked about, but you don't have to be born into the right family. You don't have to be born the right color. You don't have to be born the right sex. All you have to do is believe it, stand on these principles, operate these principles, and see miracles take place in your life that will blow your mind. I promise you that. So, and another thing, the sixth, I guess we're going to say this, the sixth principle is consistency. So you can't tithe in January and February and March and then say, you know what, April, May, June, I may and I may not, and then don't do it. And or start to see some increase and decide, oh, I'm not going to save anything this month. I'm going to take that trip. You got to be consistent. Consistency is key. That's where that trustworthy part comes in. You have to be consistent with what you are being entrusted with. You have to be consistent with your word. If you don't have your word, what do you have? You got to stand on your word. When you give your word that you're going to tithe with what God is pouring through you, do it. When you give your word that you are going to listen to that still small voice and be and give where God tells you to give, and sow a seed where God tells you to sow a seed, sow it. When you give your word that you are going to save and look for investments, do it. Consistency is key. You know, every day you get up and you consistently brush your teeth. You brush the ones you want to keep. So be consistent about your commitment to yourself. Be consistent about your commitment to your growth. And you're going to see that growth take place. So I wanted to share, we talked about John Rockefeller. J.L. Kraft is another one. He is the founder of Kraft Cheese. He tithed and gave 25% of all of his income to charities and to his church because he knew the law of reciprocity. That's why they call it a law, because it doesn't change. It's like gravity. You throw it up, it's coming down unless it gets stuck on the ceiling. But laws don't change, not the laws of the universe. They don't change. It's not like, well, one day a bunch of lawmakers get together and decide that they're going to do something that works for their own personal interest. These laws of the universe are what they are. Gravity, the law of reciprocity, you reap what you sow. You put it out there consistently, you're going to start to see it back. So when you give, expect it back. And it's okay to expect it back. That's how it works. That's how it works. Be okay with expecting it back. God is okay with that. Asking, you shall receive. So you want to do that and do it regularly. I was listening to Pastor John Hanna, and he grew up poor on the west side of Chicago, didn't have a lot. And he decided with the church he was going to that he prayed, he said, I want to be the biggest giver in this church, not to brag, but so because he was trustworthy. He showed himself approved of trust, where he showed that he was trustworthy, and he wanted God to pour through him. And I was thinking, study to show yourself approved. So you study these principles and you do that. That's what I was thinking. And so he showed God that, or promised God, he's going to be trustworthy with the increase. I want to be the biggest giver because I want you to pour through me to bless other people. And he gave and gave and gave. And the increase came and continues to come. He said that he's bought people cars, bought people vans, paid off mortgages, did all these phenomenal things that you too can do. God needs people to work through. Why not you? Why not me? If you believe it, you can have it. So I want to tell you a real quick example of how tithing and not tithing showed up in my life. I was going through this mental thing where I was feeling some lack because I wasn't working and I had been traveling a lot and I was doing some stuff with my mom and I just was, I wasn't working. So the finances weren't there. So what did I do? I said, well, I'm not going to pay my tithes because I got to pay this bill. I was out of town at a retreat, and still small voice said, you need to pay your tithes. And I'm like, I know, but I'm going to do it when I get back home to Chicago because I don't want to access my account on this open Wi-Fi. Well, I get back to Chicago and I forgot to do it. So I went to an appointment. I'm sitting down with the client and she wasn't pleasant. And usually I'm override that and try to get the client to laugh or smile by the time the appointment is over. This time, I just was in a funk, I was just in a funk. So I finished the appointment. I walked out of her house and immediately dropped my phone and shattered the screen. I'm like, okay, this is a lot. So first of all, the first lesson is I was allowing myself to go into that downward spiral. And we'll talk more and more and more about the brain and how the mind works. You got about 17 seconds to change that funky attitude. And before those thoughts start to recreate after themselves. So I did not do that. So I was just kind of going down this downward spiral, and I know better. I'm a hypnotist. So I'm like, oh, shoot, I broke my phone. What now? You know, that kind of thing, that kind of ridiculous thinking. And I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm just, whatever it is, I got to have my phone. It's my lifeline. It's how I do my work. Went home, said, first thing I'm going to do is pay my tithes. And then I'm going to figure out how to get my phone fixed. So I said, it hasn't been that long since I haven't paid. I don't really know what I owe as my 10%, but I'm gonna pay $300 because I know it hasn't been that long, and that should be over, you know, these couple of weeks. So I did that. And then I set about trying to figure out how I was going to get my phone fixed. Called Verizon. They told me, you have insurance. It's going to cost like $250 deductible, and we'll get your phone fixed. I'm like, oh, that's a lot. So I started going to these You Fix It places, and I was told, or they fix it, you break, we fix it. And I was told anywhere from $295 to $350. I'm like, that's a lot. But I'm resigned to getting my phone fixed because I need my phone. I said, but I'm old school. I know Verizon told me on the phone, whatever the number was, $250 deductible, but let me go into Verizon. Like, you know, you can pay, we can just pay it. We'll take your credit card over the phone, and then we'll send you a new phone. You'll be fine. Like, no, I'm gonna go in. So I went into Verizon. The woman looked at my phone and she said, guess what? Guess what she told me? $29. I'm like, what? I'm like, you sure? She said, yeah, $29. I got my phone fixed for 10% of the tithes I had just paid that morning. And that's what that still small voice said to me. You are dancing because you get to keep 90% of what you thought you were going to have to pay. I'm only asking you to give 10% and you can keep the other 90%. That was a powerful lesson to me. Powerful. And I hope that you all are hearing it too. 10% is nothing. And it becomes even less the more you give. And I'm telling you right now, if you're feeling lack, that's definitely the time to give. If you're feeling like, I don't know how I'm going to get it all done, that is pour into where you are being spiritually fed. I promise you, God promises you, forget me, God promises you that the increase will come. You have to believe it, be obedient, believe it, and watch the increase blow your mind. The next day, after I did that, after I got my phone fixed, now it looks better than it did before I dropped it because I had scratches and stuff on it. It's like a brand new phone. The next day, somebody handed me $1,100. Yeah. And you know what I did? I turned around and tithed 110 because I don't want the flow to ever stop. Do not be the cog, be the block for your blessing. You could block your own blessings with fear, with believing in lack. If you got to believe in something, you might as well believe in the increase. You might as well believe the promises. The promises are real. We can create our own problems. So I just want to real quickly, I want to review so that you all will know that you know exactly what the secrets of the wealthy are. The first and foremost, and the foundation of it all is believing. You got to believe that you deserve it. You got to believe that the law is the law and the laws work. Otherwise, none of this will matter. Then you have to tithe. You have to give. You have to sow a seed. You have to be willing to release even if you believe in the beginning that you don't have enough, because when you keep doing it and you keep doing it, your belief, your faith is going to grow and going to increase. You want to ask for ideas. Number 3, ask. Asking you shall receive. Seeking you shall find. Knocking the door will be open to you. So ask for the ideas. Ask for the download. Ask for the contacts. Ask for the connections. Ask for the increase. Ask. And then look and listen. Get your head on a swivel so that you can start to see and hear, because you don't know where the idea is going to come from. Pro tip. Before you go to bed, when you go to bed at night, before you go to sleep, set the intention that an idea is going to come to you. Just do it consistently. Do it regularly. When you wake up in the morning, set the intention that a miracle is going to take place in your life for you that day. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Look around for miracles. Miracles are everywhere. Just expect to be in the flow of them. And you will start to experience them. I promise you, when you make a habit of setting the intention for how you want your day to go, for how you want ideas to drop into your spirit, for how you want experiences to bless you, or how you want to be a blessing to the universe, when you start setting that intention regularly, when you start thinking like that regularly, when you train your mind, train your mind. The mind is a muscle. When you train it to work for you, train that subconscious mind. We're going to talk about that because that's where it all starts and ends. Train that subconscious mind to work for you and not against you. I'm telling you, we're going to do some things this year, y'all. I promise you, we're going to do some things. Buckle up, because it's going to be a ride. And I'm excited for us to go together. Be responsible. That's the next one. You want to be responsible with all this increase that's coming your way, because it's coming. But you got to be responsible. You got to save. You got to invest. You got to look for ways to bless other people. You can't hoard it, but you got to save it. The difference between hoarding and saving. Difference between hoarding and investing. When you save, when you invest, you are creating additional surplus so that you can be more of a blessing to people, so that you can look and make a difference more, so that you can create more joy for others. So be responsible. Don't be stingy with what you receive. Look for ways to make a difference. And also, you want to be grateful, because guess what? There's a whole bunch of people out here that God can pour through. So be grateful that it's you. When you put your hand in the air and say, send me, and God says, okay, I'm going to send you, be thankful. Be thankful, because not everybody is chosen and not everybody knows these secrets. I promise you that they don't. This is good stuff. And the reason I know not everybody knows, because we've got an abundance of poverty. We've got an abundance of misery. We've got an abundance of anger. We've got an abundance of broken relationships. We have an abundance of all things that are not good. If people knew the secrets, they would use them. So this is a good secret for you. This is what you, so be grateful that this video landed in your box. Not me. It's not about me. It's about somehow this video ended up in front of you, because God has a message in this video for you, because God wants to bless and pour through you. Receive it and be grateful, and use the principles to change not just your life, but your family's life, your community's life, and the way the world is. Be the light in your corner of the world. Make a difference. And let me know about it. I want to hear. I want to cheer you on. I want to celebrate with you. And I want us to find together other ways to make a difference. Because you have a light and I have a light. Together our light gets bigger. Let's do this together. Thank you for joining me as we talk about the secrets of the wealthy. Have a fabulous, fabulous day. Set the intention and you will. Love and light. See you next time.